doing something like Uncle Grandpa and like a new show, and you see something like Adventure Time, a regular show that's been just grown phenomenally, especially here at Comic-Con, do you guys ever feel intimidated? Like, I better hope they like this, or are you just like, let's just do it, go straightforward?
No, I don't feel intimidated. It was just like just try to make it our own show, be our own thing, and if it finds an audience, it does. I making this stuff, we kind of for our crew, we kind of make it for ourselves. Of course, we have an audience in mind, but it's like we're the first audience when you're making this thing. So it's like if you start thinking too big, it's too intimidating. It's too much to try to too many people to try to satisfy or something like that.
I also feel like most of the shows on Cartoon Network are kind of like, we're kind of just going to make it for us kind of thing, and if people latch onto it and it finds an audience, then it will. And I think Uncle Grandpa and Clarence and Steven Universe, like the wave of the next cartoons for Cartoon.
So, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and all the shows that Cartoon Network sort of does they all have a different sensibility. It's like a variety, and I think they look for creators and artists that have a certain voice that they can sort of express that's unique, to the medium, to the animation.
So with all the episodes in and the characters essentially built out, has there been any surprise between what you thought the characters in the show would be and what it ended up being? Has there been any?
Absolutely. I mean, Mr. Gus, for instance, I had an idea for a character, but it wasn't defined until Kevin was cast.
He was a 4-foot Italian guy originally. No.
They got the right guy.
I don't. And same with.
Yeah, see.
It's me, Mario. I got a 10.
I think when you come up with this stuff, it's like you have an idea, but then you actually get incredible performers like Eric and Kevin. And it evolves, it changes, it adds to it. It's like
storyboards too. Once they hear the performance, they might go back and tweak it. Yeah, it's always evolving.
Like my writers and storyboard artists, like once Kevin was cast, it was like, all right, we get it, man. We get this character, and it made the writing. And we wrote a bunch of early episodes without him cast yet. I just had a vague idea. So it was like a huge change for that character and the show. Dynamic of the show once Kevin.
I remember hearing about it too, and people said, you got to audition for this, and I bumped into Eric Bauza. He kept, dude, he goes, you're Mr. Gus, you're Mr. Gus, and I go, what are you talking about? I had no idea what he was talking about, and then finally
it was in the men's room. I'm busy here. Can you talk to me about this some other time?
Behind the stall, I'm like, leave me alone.
It was very interesting.
You draw a sketch and put it under the door. So no.
Persistent.
You're this dinosaur.
Like,
I know what I want. I'm gonna get it.
I have toilet paper. Leave me. No. So thank God he pushed me, and I came aboard. Thank God these guys.
We all know he's a busy guy, so we had to invent a new day of the week just so we could get him in.
That's sheer funny.
He's a busy man.
And as Pete is the anchor, who's absolutely phenomenal, watching him play, this character, because when I watch it on television, it feels like I'm actually watching this real character that's like this, and I'm actually separating, Peter from watching this show, which is really an amazing feat, because some actors, you see them and you automatically associate their voice with and what they look like with the character. Pete is so unlike Uncle Grandpa.
Yeah, completely different.
And to then watch it is
I hope so.
It's really, no. It's just.
His car is.
My wife might say something.
It's very cool. It's very cool to watch.
So how does the recording work? Are you guys all in the same room?
We're together. Yeah. Adam's not always with us, who plays Pizza Steve, but the three of us are always there. And also, because these guys are insane talents and have such range and performance range and voice range, they play a whole cast of characters on the show, all different side characters, incidentals, other minor characters, stuff like that.
Like Eric plays Zarna. Who's Zarna again?
Zarna,
She's like a warrior princess.
I don't know if you guys have seen that. There's a bunch of really cool. Why I like Uncle Grandpa, it kind of harkens back to like old cartoons where you'll have like a storyline, and then there will be enough time left over to do like these little short cartoons that are almost like little bonuses, you know. And there's like Hot Dog Person and Very Nice.
Yeah, he's Hot Dog Person.
But Zarna is my favorite. She's the she-warrior of the apocalypse.
She's like a female Mad Max.
Yeah.
The only way you could tell is, does she have an earring or is it just breast? Because she's very muscular. She's like muscular.
She's pretty ripped.
She's got like a
She's kind of like
for a hand or
like a China, you know, like the wrestler. She's like
a harpoon for a hand, right?
Yeah, she's got like a weapon for a hand.
That's why they asked me.
And his voice as a character is just out of control.
Yeah,
Kevin loves it.
I did China from WWE wrestling. So that's what she sounds like.
Speaking of WWE, it
Yes.
says you saw you guys have upcoming new season there. Ric Flair's again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How is working with Ric Flair, and does he live up to the quote-unquote gimmick?
Well, my supervising producer, Audie Harrison, is like huge wrestling fan. I've known him since college. He made films about wrestling in college. He's done other episodes of other Born and Written for other shows, done wrestling episodes. So I was like, we got to do a wrestling episode, and he kind of went off. He's like, all right, I have this idea, I'm gonna do it. He did it as like this sort of pseudo the structure of the episode is like a documentary, and he surprised us in the pitch of putting Ric Flair, and he's like, you think we can get him? And we got him, and he was awesome. He was super into doing it. We recorded him satellite from
Florida?
North Carolina, or
yeah.
South Carolina? North Carolina.
A wrestling
yeah.
ring somewhere.
And, he was super awesome. He did great takes, and it was just great. It was perfect. We did it in about an hour. It was great.
Got a few woos out of him?
Yeah. We wrote a bunch of woos in it. Yeah. He was like,
How do you ever
great.
say this woo?
And it's cool because we've done that with a couple of different, celebrities and famous people. Like we like having people like the old Scooby-Doos play themselves. So we had Shaq in an episode play himself, with Ric Flair, and we have a few others that not allowed to talk about yet, but we're doing that more and more often.
Pretty exciting ones for a lot of genre fans out there.
I'm sorry.
So one thing I saw voice actors just go through the motions and just take multiple takes and just say it different ways. Are there certain things that you guys just get it the first time around, you don't have to say it again?
Actually, I think for me, my personal experience working on a couple different shows, this one is the most easygoing as far as like takes are concerned.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you guys really. I mean, two passes most.
You guys are always prepared. Like I'm never prepared because I'm like rushing down, running the show to go do the voice. So I wish I occasionally get to prepare more and read through the script practice, but Kevin always knows the context of the line. He always knows. He reads the storyboard, and he knows he's doing this. He knows the expression, and out of the park every time. Same with Bauza.
Wow.
So you're always prepared. You're incredibly
Thank
pro.
you,
Yeah.
Pete. Seriously. Wow.
It's always amazing. Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I'm a junior. I'm not worth it.
And also,
Coming from this guy, thank you, because I
Kevin-
know he's
Kevin, these
juggling
guys
so
have-
many jobs. He's doing all this stuff. I don't know how you do it.
How do you do it?
Good question.
long days. It's love, man. It's just like it's my dream to do this. It's like it's not gonna last forever. So you just go. I'm giving it my all, and 11-hour days every day. 8 to
40 years from now.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
gray
staring
hair.
under Grandpa.
Yeah. Getting some gray hair.
Will truly be.
I'll tell you how I do it. I hire great people to help me.
Yeah,
I
there's
really
a-
do.
there's
It's
a
the
good
best way
team.
to do it. You have great artists around you. You sort of cast a show not only for the performers, but with the artists. Like you find people have similar sensibilities, and then you trust. You after the first year was the toughest, setting the show up, but then you trust your artists and let them express themselves and use this show as a vehicle to express themselves.
And I understand that the storyboard artists also do a little bit of like writing on the side, like for the show, like as they.
Oh no, they are the writers.
Yeah.
The show's a sort of different structure. It's not we don't write a script and then draw pictures based off the script. We actually write an outline, a rough idea, Uncle Grandpa goes to the movies, this happens, and then the end is this happens. And then we give it to a storyboard. And basically, they're like old style cartoonists where they write and draw. Then they'll storyboard, write all the dialogue, all the jokes,
amazing.
everything. So the storyboard is actually the script. So it's like a giant comic book of the episode. So so when we're recording, it gives us context to the scene and everything. So
we literally get this book, like
every
in the mail
episode.
for every episode, like that thick, back to back, each page with the storyboard. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you see every moment that happens. So there's only about 4 or 5 shows in the world that make cartoons this way. And Adventure Time, regular show, Clarence, Steven Universe, us, SpongeBob does it, a few other studios.
I don't know how you do that because if it was made like, all right, another panel, I mean, like,
and it's very hard to
back
find
to the left,
talent
back to the left.
It's really hard to find people that can do the talent too, because it's just 2 disciplines combined together. Find a lot of people who are incredible writers, incredible draftsmen, artists, craftsmen, but putting it together, who are funny, who can do, it's very hard.
The vacation time talk must be really awkward. It's like, I want to go on vacation. It's like, I don't think you should.
This is my vacation.
He's going on vacation. So
He's going on vacation tomorrow.
Yeah, his missus is making me soon, so
He's a lucky boy.
Yeah.
I haven't had really a vacation in a couple of years.
So we're here at Comic-Con. Obviously, there's a lot of fanboys here. What do you guys fanboy out about? Like, what are you guys obsessed with?
Oh man, I don't know. Good question. There's a lot of stuff to be fanboys about.
I guess I won't know until I actually see it when it hits my eye because I have serious.
You love video games, though. You're a big video game player.
I do love video games. That's true. I love
yeah.
Xbox. I love my PS3, stuff like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ecto 1. I heard the Ghostbusters cars driving around here. I'm a big Ghostbusters nerd.
The Ghostbusters cars here?
Yeah, it's just driving around
Oh,
randomly.
that's awesome.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want to take a picture with it so bad.
Last year I was parked out in front of the fire station, so
Okay.
I would check there.
All right.
It's a couple blocks away from the convention center.
Well, last year actually, I was totally like a little with the Batmobiles. Was it the Batmobiles? Was that last year lined up? I think so. Or the year before?
I saw something
They had
cool.
everyone from each genre. I stood there literally for like a couple hours. Just
Did you guys pass
looking
by
at
I think it's Hot Wheels, the Mattel booth? They have that giant Darth Vader car.
Yeah, Darth Vader
What?
car is really cool.
It's the coolest thing
Yeah,
I've
they
ever
have
seen.
like a car.
It's like a big Hot Wheels. That looks like shit.
It's a real car. Yeah, it's on the floor.
Oh, great. Oh,
That's
great.
cool. I mean, it's so hard to pick now. There's everyone's here, showing their stuff, and it's like.
For me, it's probably just nostalgic stuff from my childhood, like 80s movies, cartoons, stuff that I was into. I think all of this stuff is so much nostalgia. It's that special feeling you have when you watch it as a kid or even as an adult that you connect to something. So it's a lot of things, underground comics, I love punk music, stuff like that. Yeah.
I've yet to see like $6 Million Man because that was my favorite show as a kid, and I've yet to see that at Comic-Con. I haven't seen a guy dress up like Steve Austin.
You might have to do it, Kevin.
Yeah, but that'll be
Tight jogging suit.
yeah, they'll think I'm Suge Knight if I do that. So I'm just like, da na 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 na. And I'm like, no, that way I don't think that. I can run 60 miles an hour, man. No.
I smell reboots.
No.
Then what would you guys dress up as if you were to dress up here?
I would dress up as Kevin Michael Richardson. I don't know.
I don't know what I would dress up as. Maybe Beetlejuice?
Yeah, Beetlejuice, anything Michael Keaton.
I'd probably dress up as the same thing I dress up for Halloween, the chef from South Park. Walking goes, hello, children. You got a nice tray of chocolate salty balls.
I went as Data from Goonies for Halloween once. I just woke up. That's all I did. Yeah. No, I actually made like the boxing glove that came out. I got one of those like IKEA shaving mirrors. It was awesome. I'll check out my Instagram. You'll find it.
Oh my God, he's brilliant.
Best Halloween of my life. Data from Goonies.
Since we're talking about fandom, what has been the response of the fans to the show, and overall?
Really good. I feel like the show sort of plays towards more of a true 6 to 11-year-old audience, and like kids really dig it. Like I've talked to like my nieces and nephews in school. Everybody like knows about the show, and it's been really positive. It's been really cool, and it's
adults
cool.
too.
Yeah, adults too. Yeah, it kind of
adults.
spans, but yeah, I think just the craziness of it and the just like cartooniness of it, the kids are really into it. So it's exciting.
It really does, like, I don't know, it reminds me so much of like the way it moves, the way even it sounds, like the jokes in it are very like old school Tex Avery for me. I actually started out in animation first, like a character layout artist before I became a voiceover artist. So I really do appreciate the work that these guys put into it. As a fan, I love it.
I mean, it's wild. It's like, you hear people reference it or talk about it. It's cool. Like people getting tattoos. There's all these Pizza Steve tattoos. It's crazy. Uncle Grandpa tattoos. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even do that. There's like a lot of graffiti. A bunch of graffiti in New York, like big
really?
graffiti of the characters.
Didn't Bill Maher use it as a reference?
Bill Maher referenced it on The Tonight Show. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it's pretty wild. It's like, it's cool. Like, what's cool about Uncle Grandpa is that like, it's this like, it's like a new definition of like a personality in pop culture almost. I don't know. I mean, I'm not to sound like it's some grandiose thing, but it's like, it's this interesting thing where it's like, I don't know. It's like we've sort of adopted those words now, especially "Good Morning" too. It's like kind of become this thing. You kind of have to say it in his voice if you watch the show. It's like I don't know.
I also feel like when you're working on a production too, you got these blinders on. You just got to meet your deadlines and make sure it gets out.
Yeah.
So when you like look up and you see stuff like Comic-Con where people come in and it reached them, like you kind of, it's a surreal experience and moment where you're like, wow. So what we were doing actually touched people. It's kind of nice.
My son's 10, and I hear the Good Morning thing.
Oh, really?
Loves the show.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Does he really run around just saying good morning?
Just sometimes.
Yeah.
He's just talking in the, trying to do the voices.
Yeah, it's just true too. The grandpa voice is like everybody can kind of do it. So I feel that makes it more accessible to people in a sense. It's like I'm going to go to talk like this, and you get it, a little bit. So.
That's trippy every time. Any other?
Any themes that you're playing with this season?
We're sort of we're expanding it, doing some stories that are longer, that are full 11-minute stories that take up the whole 11 minutes. Then we have more shorts episodes where we have a bunch of shorts that equal. We play with format a lot. We're trying to it seems like we're loving the characters more and more. So there's still helping the kid type of episodes where Uncle Grandpa goes out from his friends or with his friends to help kids. But we also have a lot of sort of stories with this cast.
Yeah, I love the four characters together when they're all stuck in the same situation.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like a good Seinfeld episode where it's like, how are they going to get out of the parking lot? It's like, I do like it when they do split off in their like odd pairings, but when the four of them are together, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah. So.
One thing I wanted to, speaking of pairing, Uncle and Grandpa, like that's just brilliant. Are there any other pairings that come to mind that you would think of?
Cousin nephew.
Aunt Grandma.
Aunt Grandma.
I might be coming into play in the show, but it's funny. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, where did you come up with the idea?" And ideas are things from experience and from stuff that you love, and it all sort of goes in your brain. And who knows why it comes out? It's like, But for me, it was I had a really amazing family friends that we called uncle, and weren't blood relatives or anything, but like my dad's best friend. It was my uncle, and they were kind of these wild personalities. They've been in plane crash. They've crashed their own plane by accident because it ran out of gas. They forgot to fill it up. Like just these crazy people in the war. They like got shot in the back in World War II, hid in a cave for 2 weeks, and then hiding from the Nazis. Like all these, it was like these larger life characters building potato guns and firing them into the woods. I mean, all these they were like. And when I was coming to the show, I'm like, and I love that when you were a kid. You're like my crazy uncle who's coming and we're gonna hang out with my. And I was like, how do I make a character that's like the ultimate version of that, but it's magical and can do anything, can bring you anywhere, can do that. So that's sort of where that idea came from. And I thought like he could be an uncle and a it's like people have crazy grandparents or they have crazy relatives, type of thing.
That'd be funny if you pull out a picture of his wallet and say, "Here's my uncle right here, and it's Uncle Grandpa."
My brother said that he saw a drawing Grandpa without his mustache, and he's like, "It's Dad." It's like it kind of like reminds me of my dad, because my dad's this really positive, happy, high energy guy, and he had a crazy life. Like he met Walt Disney, he met John Ford. He was in the Navy for 25 years and traveled the world and went all over saw the world. So he always he's like, I've been there, I've done that.
Essentially, it's the character or the family member that comes over, does all the wrong things, and then leaves. And your real parents have to pick up.
Yeah, exactly. But you loved it, and like you strangely learned something from the experience, or grew a little bit from the experience immediately.
Can we get a good morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, guys.